Sometimes us pet parents like to take matters into our own hands, but there are definitely some things you should be leaving up to the professionals. Let's bark about it. Welcome back to Alpha Paw, your destination for everything dog. I'm Bernie Zilio, and I'm on a mission to answer every doggone question you have ever had about your fur babies. And today, we're talking about the 5 things your vet wishes that you would not do to your dog. But fortunately, we also have with us today an expert vet, Dr. Ross Bernstein. Dr. Ross is a seasoned veterinary professional and pet care expert. He earned his doctorate degree in veterinary medicine at the UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine, and his work has been featured in several industry-leading publications, including the Journal of Veterinary Surgery. He is our go-to vet for everything we want and need to know about our fur babies. So welcome back to Alpha Pod, Dr. Ross.
Hey guys, what's up?
Thank you for being here. This is a big video because basically you're the only person who can answer these questions. I mean, you and other vets, but you are our vet, and we're dying to know the 5 things that you guys wish we would not do to our fur babies. So first and foremost, what is the craziest thing that you have experienced a pet parent try to do to their dog that you wish they wouldn't have done?
To me, I think looking stuff up, and I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can about this because I know people haven't had this is going to be at hitting the core for me because it's something that we get very irritated with. But probably the biggest thing for us is, and it's great that people can do their own research at home. That's great. But then they shouldn't go home, self-diagnose, and confuse their Google searches with our medical degrees. And they can find stuff on the internet that seems like it makes sense. Someone said it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever blog they're reading. But that really is not scientifically proven. There's no research behind it. And it's very frustrating.
I feel your frustration through this screen because you went to school for all these years. You know what you're talking about. And then Joe Schmo goes to Google or PetMD. So I understand completely. So number 2 would be, I guess, along the same lines, trying to treat your dog at home with homeopathic remedies. So Dr. Ross, can you explain why this grinds your gears as well?
Yeah, so it's pretty common that sometimes people try to treat fleas with diatomaceous earth or other supplements like garlic and onions. And really that doesn't, I don't think it does anything because people were treating them. And obviously they still have fleas and all the problems that come associated with fleas. So that doesn't work. Putting essential oils and coconut oils on wounds, that doesn't work either. Especially coconut oil, your yeast and bacteria, you're just giving them a buffet to come and eat. And then they can go from that coconut oil into your incision and just make it infected. Cleaning the ears for an ear infection with apple cider vinegar is also something that people do, and definitely would highly recommend not doing that. If your dog has an ear infection, take him to your vet so you can get an appropriate medication and ear cleaning.
Perfect. Also, all these home remedies sound like they would make your pet smell horrible. So I don't know why anyone would make this their first go-to, but now we know. Don't drench your dog in garlic. Just take them to the vet. So number 3 is along the lines of health, but it's more general wellness. So if your dog is not necessarily sick, but you're trying to, I guess, do some maintenance on them, for example, expressing their anal glands, which I know is gross, but it needs to happen. Is that something that you recommend people do at home, or is that something that they should definitely have their vet do for them?
I think that depends on the dog and also on the owner's ability to do that task or clipping the nails or expressing the anal glands themselves. So not all dogs need their anal glands expressed all the time. Dogs have anal glands. We don't, but it's a way that dogs can mark their territories. And every time they poop in a normal dog, part of their anal glands are going to be expressed on the poop. And that's part of when dogs are going around and sniffing each other's butts. That's also what they're smelling. Cats have anal glands too, just an FYI. But a lot of dogs, they express them normally. Now, if they have a food allergy, if those anal glands get impacted or blocked or infected, then it can be a problem. Some dogs that have allergies need them expressed much more often than other dogs. There are great YouTube videos out there about how to express them yourselves. There are a lot of groomers that do it appropriately, technicians. A lot of people can do it appropriately. So it definitely can be done at home. You don't have to go to the vet, but if you notice that there's a problem or those anal glands can also get tumors on them, you should definitely get your vet involved if it's a case where it starts to become a problem.
Okay, perfect. So I can continue leaving that disgusting task up to you guys. And we're all very appreciative that you guys do that. Okay. So, and I also heard you say nail trimming. I know that that's a big one that people try to do at home, but dogs' nails are very different from ours and you can actually hurt them, right?
Yeah, I think they're not actually that different than ours. Sometimes they're, just like ours, they have the quick or the part that has nerve and blood supply in them, and then the keratin that grows on top of that. So that keratin that's growing on top that does not have nerve or blood supply, you can safely cut that off without making them bleed. The tricky part is, number one, identifying where that quick ends, because if you cut the nail too short, just like if you cut your nail too short, it's going to hurt, potentially bleed.
Right.
And then sometimes dogs, their nails are pigmented or black, so you can't actually see them. And if you're not comfortable doing it, you can always go to your vet to have it done.
Okay, awesome. So I can continue leaving nail trimming and anal gland expression to you guys, to the groomer, and I can continue doing the fun stuff like playing with my dog. So that works for me. Moving on to number 4, I know a lot of pet parents worry about their dogs putting on too many lbs and take matters into their own hands and essentially formulate a diet for their dogs without really taking the dog's particular health into consideration. Now, how are pet parents supposed to handle that appropriately? Should we be going to the vet before looking things up? Like, what is the best way to do that?
Yeah, I think and this is another huge pet peeve of veterinarians and veterinary professionals, is owners starting new diets or home cooked diets or raw diets after reading something on the internet or talking to their breeder or someone at the dog park. And we talked about this in another video, but all the potential risks associated with raw food diets. There's a lot of risks about feeding home cooked diets as well, because they're potentially not going to be balanced. And we want to make sure that they're getting all the vitamins and minerals they need.
So basically, Dr. Ross, your point is that every dog's different. Just because a dog is overweight doesn't mean that they need to cut out a certain food. They need to go on a raw diet, which we've discussed is not good. They basically should go to their vet who can analyze the dog and make sure that they're getting the right nutrients, the right nutrition, all of that.
And make appropriate recommendations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, because I know a lot of pet parents are concerned with their dog's weight. Now, number 5 is one that I cringe over, because I do know people who do this. I don't, but a lot of people see their dogs in pain and they think, oh, no problem. Just crush up some Advil and put it in their dog food. Can you please explain to us why this is not good?
Advil in particular is potentially very dangerous for dogs, because dogs come in all different sizes, and Advil, or the active component is ibuprofen, in dogs has a very, very narrow therapeutic window, meaning that the amount of Advil you'd have to give them is based on their weight. It would have to be a very, very specific weight and a very, very specific amount of that pill for it to do something and be effective and not be toxic. So we have those same types of NSAID drugs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories for dogs. We have ones that are much more safe and more effective. So highly recommend that you don't give your dogs the human NSAIDs and rather give them dog appropriate ones.
Totally. And it's not just the medication, it's about your dog's weight, is what you're saying. So if your dog is tiny, he or she is probably going to require less than, like you said, a Great Dane. So definitely go to the vet for that. Is there anything else that you can think of, Dr. Ross, that you would like our viewers to know that you guys hate that we do?
One other thing that veterinarians really wish pet parents would do before coming to the vet is, if they know their pet is aggressive, then tell your veterinary staff or your hospital before coming in so that we can make appropriate recommendations whether or not they need anti-anxiety or sedation medications. It can make your hospital visit much smoother, make it go be a less stressful interaction and an overall positive experience for you and your pet, and get them seen and get the medical care that they need in a timely fashion as well.
Noted. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Ross. We really appreciate it. And as always, this has been incredibly informative. Do you have more questions for Dr. Ross? Leave them in the comment section below. Again, I'm Bernie Zilio, and this is Alpha Paw. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single doggone episode. We'll see you next time.